Hey everybody, day 2, core challenge. Here we go. So yesterday we found intra-abdominal pressure and alignment and breathing into a 360-degree fashion, which is very exciting. So today we're going to do very similar movement because I really need this movement to be solidified. And the other thing I didn't get to say yesterday, but if you were reading in the comments I would have said, is I'm going to make sure that I credit everybody that I've learned this from. This doesn't come from just me. It comes from all these wonderful places, high and low, all over the world, that I've learned about core and what core truly is. So if you're wondering where this information comes from, please just pop down in the comment section and you'll see where it all comes from. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start to move our legs and move our arms. And you might have figured out, well, I was stuck on the wall yesterday. So if you're stuck with your feet on the wall, that is where you stay. Oftentimes it takes about 2 weeks to neurologically get the movement, and maybe that's where you are. You just have to be realistic. That's the whole point of this core challenge, is to be exactly realistic where you are. It's so much better to be truthful and honest about what your core truly needs and not move forward until your core is ready, than to move forward too soon and end up getting injured or just not making any movement towards your goals with your core. Okay, so here we go. So day 2. So we're going to start back in that position, feet together, knees out, rib cage and pelvis in alignment, and arms here. And once again, like we did in the last day where we grabbed like load, like we might end up carrying a baby, we might use a kettlebell, we might use a dumbbell, we might do nothing. And then from here, you're going to find that breath. And to be perfectly honest, because we have such fast lives, this breath doesn't happen in the first few breaths. So really give yourself about 10 of these to get to a place where you feel it, and feel it in that 360-degree fashion. Still trying to breathe into that low back, still trying to expand those ribs, and still trying to breathe deep down into that lower belly and get that pelvic floor to relax as well as contract. Once you're there, you can start to move your arms and your legs. So I'm just going to start with my legs. Again, my knees are out. I'm going to keep my knees out in this fashion because I'm not going to use my hip flexors. I don't want to rely on my hip flexors. If I do, I'm going to lift my low back up and compress my facet joints, and I don't want to do that. So here I am. And again, you'll notice I'm being really realistic about where and how far my leg is going. I don't need it to touch the ground. I certainly don't need to straighten it and try and touch the ground because, again, I'm just relying on my hip flexors, and I don't want to do that. I want to really truly rely on my core. I want to rely on the intra-abdominal pressure that I'm creating so that as I bring my leg down, I know I'm really increasing the strength of my inner core. And I'm not harming my pelvic floor. I'm not harming my discs. I shouldn't have any pain. And if I do, I know I need to go back to yesterday's exercise. If I wanted to add my arms. So it's a variation of dead bug. So a lot of you have probably even seen this as dead bug. And for some of you might even use resistance tubing as well. So as you hold the resistance tubing, you're using that resistance tubing to come in opposite directions. So there's a lot of options here. Or like I said, you might even hold something here for a little bit of tension. All right.